Now, you have to flip it and reverse it. But what I was saying. Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Faith, and this is the Faith Walks channel where the pathways of faith are limitless. Today, I am going to be doing a video, one of my Faith Talk videos, Get Ready With Me, where I talk about a particular subject and then I get beat. Now, I know I'm looking kind of cray-cray right now, but if you keep on watching, you'll see how this beat gets finished. Keep on watching. You know you want to. Alright, y'all, I'm back. So, like I said, I'm going to be doing a beat, while I talk about a particular subject. And one of the subjects that I wanted to talk about that's kind of been on my mind a little bit is rejection. And just overcoming it and how to get through it. Okay. But yeah, overcoming it and getting through it, Jesus, and everything. So yeah, we're gonna talk about that. I don't want it to be like a downer because yeah, I'm in a good mood. So I used the P.Louise blank canvas base as my base, and I'm going to be using the Juvia's Place Magic palette. That's what I'm going to right now, okay? But yeah, like I said, I wanted to talk about rejection. We're not going to make it a downer. We're going to make it an upper because we're going to talk about how to overcome. And if you have not subscribed to my channel already, what are you doing? Subscribe, hit that notification bell. If you want to see more content and everything, I have a lot for you. So make sure you hit that like button, hit that notification so you know what I have coming up for you. I love you. I love you guys so much. All of my new subscribers, hi. Thank you so much for joining the Faith Walks family and walking this path of faith with me, okay? I hope you enjoy the content so far, and if there's anything in particular that you want to see, then make sure you put it down in the comments so I know in the future, especially these Faith Talks, if there's something that you want me to talk about in particular. Yeah, put that on there. Put that on there. Hey, put that on there. Okay? But yeah, so rejection has kind of been on my mind a bit because we've all been through rejection, whether it comes through, a crush, which, for me, I dealt with rejection from, having a crush, on somebody and they didn't feel that type of way, you know what I'm saying? And, maybe, you wonder about yourself and, are you good enough? Do they, will you ever find somebody that actually feels the same way about you? And especially when you have a first crush or, you have, run-ins where people don't feel the same way about you. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I wanted to talk about rejection is because I feel like when you go through rejection, you have to make sure that you heal and you learn to love yourself, because if you don't, then you'll go around hurting other people. You know what I mean? Because you have dealt with rejection, then you'll, just be on that rejected space. And y'all, it's not cool to treat people the way that you've, if you've been hurt before, like treat other people that way. Like, you just can't do that. You know what I'm saying? You have to, grow from the, things that you go through and heal, or you'll end up really hurting other people. And that's why you have a lot of hurting people out here, because they've dealt with, somebody who's been rejected. You know what I'm saying? And so, or hurt or broken, in the same regards. So I went in the orange shade, and I kind of wanted to do like a blue. So I'm using both of those blues in the Juvia's Place Magic palette to kind of, get that depth that I want. that Ife color is just really it, you know. But yeah, so that's that. With the, I'll put all the products down in the description. 'Cause that's kind of, I know that, you know, I had a crush on somebody when I was younger. Baby, puppy love, all that cute stuff. Yeah. And, you know, he didn't feel the same way. Like, you could tell, you know, that he didn't feel the same way about me as, you know, I felt or whatever. And so, you know, I, you know, spent a lot of time, a lot of wasted time trying to find out, do he like me? Blah, blah, blah. And no, he didn't. He doesn't like you, boo. And you need to move on. You know what I'm saying? But one of the things that, you know, I've learned not just from that instance, but in other instances too, that you can't base your self-worth on other people's acceptance of you. Everybody is not going to accept you. You know, everybody is not going to feel the same way about you that you feel about yourself, or that God feels about you, or that the people that love you feel about you. Sometimes people are just not into you, whether it be friends or, you know, even family. Some family members just, you know, they not that into you. You know what I'm saying? You know, but that's why you have to make sure that you don't base your self-worth on everybody. You know, even when it's family members that don't care for you, or even friends, you know, you try to be friendly with people and maybe they don't reciprocate that level of friendliness. You just have to be sure that in everything, you know, remember who you are. You know what I mean? Remember who you are. And that's, you know, remember that you're God's creation and he loves you and cares about you and, you know, wants, you know, the best for you. You know what I'm saying? Love yourself, you know, and sometimes that can be hard, but remember the love of the people that care about you. Remember the love of the people that, you know, look out for you. Remember the love of your Father God in heaven, you know what I'm saying, that cares about you and wants to see you come out on top and you know, the best for you. You have to remember to appreciate that love above the rejection that you might feel. You know what I'm saying? And that can be hard, especially if you go through a lot of rejection, a lot of trauma, a lot of, you know, that. But never, it's kind of like that the same as being grateful for what you have in times where you might lack. You know what I mean? There are times where you're going to go through and you're not going to have. You know what I'm saying? You might be a have-not at the moment. You know what I'm saying? You might be. But, you know, at the same time, make sure, you know, that when you don't have, appreciate what you do have. Look at what you do have. It's like, you know, being an optimist. I know I'm using a lot of, you know, terminologies right now, but not terminologies, but I'm using a lot of examples right now. But, you know, it's like being an optimist, looking at the glass half empty or half full. How do you want to look at it? You know what I'm saying? When it comes to relationships, when it comes to relationship, and when it comes to you know, remembering who you are, and despite of what rejection you may feel, you have to remember, you know, that if you feed off of what is negative and you stay in that place, that's all you will become. You know what I mean? But if you feed off of life, if you feed off of joy, if you feed off of, you know, peace, you know what I'm saying? And some people have, you know, I pray for people who have been through it, you know, with, you know, those close to them, you know, like, you know, even their own family members not accepting them or loving them, you know, for who they are, because that right there can be difficult. But in spite of, you got to know that you are loved. How do you know that you are loved? Well, I'm telling you right now. One, you are loved. Okay? You are loved. You're accepted in the beloved. You know what I'm saying? And God cares about you and has your best interests at heart. I think a little bit, whatever you do, if you're doing this, be careful when you're blending the blue and the orange, because sometimes it'll get a little bit black, and I have that here, but we just gonna make it work, okay? Okay. Yeah, I think we have it. Now going back to, different forms of rejection, and ways that it manifests. One of the things about rejection that comes up is comparison. You could be rejected through comparison. And that's a fact, Jack. You can be rejected by comparison in the sense that, like it's not that the people intended to reject you on purpose, but when somebody else does something like similar to what you're doing, whether it be singing or giving a testimony at church or schoolwork or a talent, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes people can get all excited about when somebody else do it, and then when you've done it or you've done something similar to it, or when it's your turn to show your specific thing or talent or whatever, then it's like you don't feel that same acceptance, you don't feel that same appreciation, you know what I'm saying? And so you really have to, sorry if I'm getting too close, but you really have to, even in the middle of that, know that what you have to bring to the world is just as important as what anybody else has to bring to the world. How do you know this? In spite of, well, one, again, I'm telling you, what you have to bring to the world is important. What you have to voice, what you have to share with the world is needed and is important. And I have to think about that even with my channel. Sometimes I'm afraid of comparison, you know what I'm saying? Because people used to compare me and my sister to each other all the time. They really did. They just compared us a lot, and they would, when one of us would minister at church, or we would preach, or we would dance, like, oh, this is so good, this is so good, make sure that you take care of your sister, da 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 da. And we were taking care of each other. Like, you really ain't have to tell us that, yo. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes the things people would say would kind of pit us against each other, and you would have to watch, making sure that you didn't look, a certain way, like if my sister was ministering or something. Gotta make sure I have a happy face on, because God forbid if I look like I'm jealous. You know what I'm saying? You don't want that. You don't want that, So that's just, something that, I had to go through. And it's kind of like, I'm sure if you have a sibling who is successful and all that kind of stuff, and you may not feel that you are, experiencing that same level of success, maybe, I'm trying to make sure this is even. I feel like I'm not even, but I'm trying to make it as even as I can. Okay. Okay. Yes. Okay, but yeah, if you're maybe don't feel like, okay, maybe you don't feel like you're experiencing that same level of success, you know what I'm saying, that your sibling is experiencing, but that might make you to feel like that you aren't received as well as that sibling that is successful. You know what I'm saying? Or what you would consider, you know, successful. You know, I think this is why God allows good people and friends to be placed around us, so that we know and that we can see on a consistent basis that despite whatever we might consider to be a shortcoming, that we are loved, we are accepted. And that's why sometimes people end up too in the wrong crowds, because they put so much credence on what other people have to say. People who have had to figure out life for themselves just like anybody else. Okay, everyone has to figure out life. Everyone has to you know, get to figure out how, you know, to reach the level of success that fits them. You know what I'm saying? Your parents, you know, the ones that you consider successful, everyone has had to figure that out. You know what I'm saying? And so realize that all of us have our individual journeys, and they look different. You know, they really do. And just like my journey looks different than my sister's journey, her journey is different than mine. And they cannot be compared. They cannot. They just cannot be compared one to another, because it's mine. You know, it's mine. It's hers. You know what I'm saying? And it belongs to us. Okay. And that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing about life and human beings just in general. You know, that we all have something. I want to put this in the middle. This silver. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Okay. Okay. Y'all, I love this so much. Yes. The experience of, you know, being compared to and also rejected is not an uncommon one. It is a human, you know, experience, because, you know, you're not always accepted everywhere, and that's a fact. You know, my friends know I say that's a fact, Jack, and it is. It is. But you have a tribe. You know what I'm saying? You definitely have a tribe. There is a tribe that belongs to you. There is a tribe, you know, that, you know, has your back, that wants to see you win, that wants to support. There is a group that, you know, if it's a job that, you know, you will, or a business, there is a target audience that wants, you know, what you have to offer. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's just something that I had to learn, and I had to have faith for. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, maybe there is somebody out there. There is somebody out there that wants to hear what I have to say. There is somebody out there that can relate. You know what I'm saying? And it's something that I have to have faith for every time I turn the camera on. You know, that there's somebody out there that wants to hear what I have to say, you know. And what I will say is that I think, you know, with dealing with rejection, that it kind of, before in previous times, you know, caused me to, you know, get quiet and be more reserved. Sorry, I'm back. But yeah, like I said, this is something I have to deal with every time I turn, you know, the camera on. I have to, you know, face the fact that it's a possibility that I might not be, you know, received, or, you know, or, you know, will people subscribe? Will people, you know, hit the notification bell? And I'm not just saying this, you know, to get subscriptions or whatever, but, you know, with all of this, you know, will I be received? I'm using the Danessa Myricks cream cover. I used this in my last video. But and I'm trying a technique that I saw from, oops, there we go, from Jackie Aina. I'm using the, I hope I didn't get it on my lens, Jesus. But I'm using the Final Seal from Ben Nye and spraying it on my brush to give longevity to my foundation. But yeah, just like I said, when you scrub, will people look, you know, do I have, you know, am I funny enough? Am I, you know, interesting enough? You know, what will set me apart, what will make me different? And what rejection, I feel like sometimes rejection will make you do that, will make you feel like you need to, you know, like, it'll make you feel like maybe you don't measure up, maybe my edges need to be laid like everybody's. I'm telling y'all right now, my edges will not be laid like everybody's, okay? It just ain't gonna happen, okay? But yeah, you know, that fear, that reservation, you know, those concerns, I feel like rejection sometimes plays into that, because you just don't know, you know, well, this person didn't like this about me, and, you know, because of that, maybe there's that fear, there's that trepidation. You have to find your target audience, your tribe, because like I said, you're not for everybody. So in order for you, now outside of that, outside of just finding your tribe, you also have to build a confidence in who you are. And building confidence in the midst of rejection is not always the most easy thing to do, but it has to be done. You know, and it's holding on to the fact that you are who God says you are. It's holding on to, you know, the fact that you're accepted in the beloved. And that's the truth, you know. And it'll always be the truth that, you know, no matter what men say about you, people say about you, you know, God has, you know, created you before the foundations of the earth, and He called you to be who you are. And so no matter what is said otherwise, it doesn't matter. You know, because God had a plan for you, and He wanted you to be who you are. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, be that. Be who He created you to be. Learn what it means to be that. You have to. You know, you have to learn what it means to be who God created you to be. And I know I had to deal with that. You know, learning who it meant. It meant, you know, and I went through, you know, as we grow, you know, going through a season of emulating others and, you know, trying to do it like them and match their fly. You know what I'm saying? And match what, you know, their, yeah, like how other people that I admired or thought had it together or thought, you know, did it a way that everybody received it. You know, I tried to match that and it didn't fit for me. You will know what is your fit. You know what I'm saying? When you feel peace in that moment, when you feel that joy in that moment, you know? So y'all notice this foundation is orange if you watch my last video. But I'm gonna fix it. Like, for real, watch my last video. Like I said, though, I feel like the more time you take to, like, even when you go through relationships that, you know, break up, what be it friendships, you know, family relationships or whatever, when you take the time to get to know yourself and heal from those, you know, particular situations, that's when you get freedom. You know what I'm saying? That's when you get but that's when you get understanding that it's not you, it's them. You know what I mean? Or it just, and I'm not talking about if you have flaws like, you know, you're a liar, or, you know, you know, are insensitive, you're narcissistic, you know, you're whatever. I'm not talking about issues like that that you have to deal with, like for real. Deal with yourself and get help. You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about when people reject you for being who you are. You know what I mean? If that is, you know, if they're rejecting you for who you are, you know, that's you. Fall back in love with yourself and realize they tripping. Like for real. Okay, I'm sorry. So I lost my train of thought on my last thought. That's terrible, but that happens to me sometimes, y'all. I'm sorry when I'm talking. So, and I hope I'm not talking too fast, and hopefully I'm not saying a lot. But, oh, I kind of like this sponge. Okay. Now, you have to flip it in reverse. But what I was saying is that when you get out of a situation, or you've gone through a situation where, you know, people make you feel bad about being who you are, you have to fall back in love with yourself. You know, and like I said, we're not talking about actual growth as a human being that needs to be changed, but when someone doesn't love you for who you are, you have to make sure that, you know, you fall in love with yourself, you know, again, and that you know, learn how to appreciate you for who you are. You know what I'm saying? Because that, like I said, God wouldn't have made you the way you are unless, you know, and not love you for who he created you to be. You know, he loves you for who he created you to be. And there are people out there that love you for who he created you to be. Some of these people we have connected to, you know, we've done it to validate our own selves, to make ourselves feel better about, to just feel better about ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that ain't it, Jack. I keep calling y'all Jack. But sometimes that's not it. That's not who, you know, we are meant to be connected with. Sometimes it's not healthy. Sometimes it's toxic. You know, it could be a myriad or a plethora of reasons why it isn't meant to be. But the fact remains is it's not meant to be with them. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, when it comes to family and everything, yeah, sometimes you're going to have to be around them. You know, sometimes you're going to have to, you know, deal with them. But at the end of the day, get such a strong sense of self. You know, get such a strong sense of, you know, who you're created to be, that you learn to let it go, that, you know, it's just Thanksgiving dinner. You know what I mean? Or don't even surround yourself with them. You know, don't even deal with it. Sometimes the exchange is so toxic, the rejection is so prevalent that you can't deal with it anymore. You know what I'm saying? You can't. When it's toxic behavior, when it becomes toxic behavior, you know, you just can't. You really, with some people, yo, like for real, I'm serious. Sorry, I'm looking at myself too. But sometimes for real, with some people, it's a no. You can't be bothered with that. Like, you can't deal with that. You can't put up with it. It's not what's healthy for your being, your soul. It's not healthy. You know, some people we're meant to minister to and be a blessing to, and some people just need to keep it pushing. You know, keep it pushing. You know, you're meant to move. Some people you minister to, and some people you move on from. You know, and you just learn how, in lessons of where I've been rejected, there have been times where I've learned how to just appreciate myself for who I am, even when people don't appreciate it. And that's literally the only lesson I was able to learn from being around them. That was it, you know. And to stop questioning myself when it doesn't go, when I'm not accepted, when I am rejected. Stop questioning yourself every time someone doesn't receive you. You know what I'm saying? Stop. Because everybody won't. You know, everybody won't receive you. There's some people who do love you, who do care about you, who do receive you. You know, and there's a God who accepts you. So, yeah. If they aren't, it's okay. If they are, hallelujah. And if they demean you or belittle you and make you feel bad for who you are, yo, it's a no. It's a no. Like, legit, it's a no. Move on. Pack your bags, move on. Jesus went where he was celebrated. And there's literally a scripture that says that he was not able to do many miracles because in certain towns, because of their, you know, unbelief. And what is that? It's unbelief in who he was. You know? And we are unable to bring to the table what could potentially be a blessing for people sometimes because they don't believe in who we are. You know? They just don't. And if they don't, that's okay. If they don't believe, you know, in, you know, what you bring to the table, what you have. Sometimes my forehead be tripping, y'all. I just have to keep it pushing. Sometimes my forehead don't believe in who I am. But I gotta keep it pushing. I gotta keep it pushing. Jesus went to the next town. He was like, okay, next town. You know, they might not receive me here, but they'll receive me elsewhere. He gave them the opportunity to receive. If they don't receive it, it is what it is. Okay. So I did my bottom lash line. Kind of took this low. Took this lash line, this bottom lash line low. Yes. Yes. I think the biggest lesson is, as if I need to be warm orange, right? She is warm. She is real warm today. Oh well. I'm pretty sure it'll photograph well. I don't know. Oh gosh, I'm so warm. But, you know, I think like one of the biggest points I want to make, you know, about facing rejection is just understanding that, you know, it's understanding that how to heal when you deal with rejection, you know, and that means getting to yourself, you know, and having those healing conversations with you and God, even if it requires, you know, maybe you have to have therapy or, you know, or something where, you know, you talk about what you been through and what it made you feel and, you know, all of these things so that you can be free from the opinions of other people. And that's really what the rejection is. It's the opinions of other people becoming, you know, evident in their actions, and you just have to make sure that in dealing with the opinions of other people that you don't allow it to become the driving force for you, or how you express yourself, or how you get affirmed or confirmed. You want your affirmation and confirmation to come from God. Period. And I'm going to spray my face. I personally feel this eye turned out cute. And that's my opinion. Alright, y'all. So I have new products for you today. I'm going to be using the Juvia's Place new lip products that they have. Of course, I didn't open them. But that just shows I waited for you guys, right? So this is their lip pencil. It's really cute. It has the color on the outside. And it's pink. And it's in the shade Kola. So I'm going to go in with that. Very easy to go on. Glides on. I like this shade. I like this shade a lot. That's cute, right? Yeah. Let me stop. I'm going in with Mademoiselle on the lip. Yeah. It's creamy. Yes. Uh-oh. My nails itches. Very creamy. Okay. Mademoiselle. Mademoiselle. It's so creamy. I like it. I do want to put a gloss on it. This is one from ColourPop. So you guys can see what it looks like with a gloss. That's pretty. I'm really feeling this lip. What you think? Y'all, I told y'all I'm in a good mood. I've been through a lot of rejection in my life. I've dealt with, you know, a divorce, you know, people comparing me to anybody. It don't even matter. Just comparisons in general. But falling, really getting to know myself, falling in love with Jesus and God, who is my creator, and learning, you know, allowing him to show me who I am. Honey, it just made me love me. And that's what you gotta do. At the end of the day, love kills rejection. It kills it. Because you realize you're accepted. You're received. Why? Because you're accepted in the beloved. You're accepted in the beloved, child. And when that is the opinion that matters to you the most, instead of trying to get people to accept you, but the acceptance of God, you know, is what matters most. And realizing you got people that you don't even have to try with that accept you, you're good. You'll be good. Okay, I had to put my lashes on, so, but I'm back. And look, like, I feel like the eyelid came together with the lashes, with the face, with everything, okay? So, and the lip, y'all. Juvia's Place hit with this and the eyelid. Mademoiselle. I can't speak French, so I probably am not saying that. I'm probably not saying that right, but it's okay. Anyway, I hope what I was talking about today made sense. I just want you all to know, I don't want anybody to be afraid to take a chance, on anything. You know what I mean? On life, on, you know, like I had to take a second chance, you know, with my husband. I had been rejected before, and there are times where I had to put fear of rejection in check. Because sometimes it's not just rejection that gets us, it's fear of rejection. Fear that we won't be accepted and loved and appreciated for who we are. But we have to stay led by Holy Spirit as to allowing Him to show us who our tribe is. And once you find your tribe, you know, relinquish your fear to the Lord, because you will never live. You will never live. You know what I'm saying? And that's me, you know, what I'm doing today, you know, being on YouTube, putting myself out there, putting my makeup skills out there, you know, all of that is because I am deciding to not be afraid of rejection, not be afraid of failure, but to continue to move forward in what I believe is my passion and my purpose. You know, I want to encourage you all while I'm doing this and I'm on this journey. So I hope you guys are having fun with me and enjoying it. And please don't reject my eyeshadow look. Like, I think it's lit. And like overall, I'm feeling like low-key just lit today. Even with my bush. Okay? Even with my bush. Now, my edges won't be laid. In the words of Beyonce, it won't be laid edges. I'm gonna let them things shrivel up, okay? But that's like for real. Like, I'm not the laid edges one, but I am the beat face one. My nails will be done sometimes. We'll work on that later. But anyway, know that you are loved. I appreciate you guys as my subscribers. If you haven't subscribed yet, please make sure you do that. Like this video also. Leave a thought down in the comments. Let me know how you have overcome rejection or fear of rejection. And, you know, steps that you took to overcome it. And also let me know down in the comments if you want me to talk about a specific thing. Because, you know, my talks be random, so... Anyways, I thank you guys for watching, and I appreciate you all always for watching with me. Love you guys. Bye.